What is up, my Facebook friends and family? Just want to give a shout out to the Chiefs. Looks like we are the champs. Looking good this year. So, my name's Michael Weaver, as many of you know. Tonight, 7 o'clock, Sunday Night Smarts, we are talking saving money and maybe about some of your other New Year's goals. Please remember to subscribe to my Facebook so you're notified when I do go live. If you like my feed as I'm talking, please shoot me a like or a heart or a share. I appreciate all of those. I appreciate all of you that tune in to listen. So I'll give Facebook a little bit of time to find peeps to tune in. How's everybody's weekend? Going good, hopefully. And hey, there we go. A like. Thank you. I'll go ahead and share a little bit about myself. As many of you know, I'm a State Farm agent. I've owned my own business for almost 3 years now. I've been with State Farm for almost 7. Have my bachelor's degree from Baker University. Have my retirement income certified professionals degree from the American College. I specialize in investments and retirement planning, life insurance. Was one of the top 3% of State Farm agents last year in the company when it comes to financial services. So just a little bit about me, not a ton, but just a little bit. I think when talking about things like this, it's always good for credibility, because tonight we will be talking a little bit about money. Money. Everybody likes money. Everybody wants more money. Everybody wants to save money. I know I do anyways. So before we get started, does anyone have any questions at all? I'd like to hear about maybe some of your all's New Year's goals tonight. If you do have a New Year's goal of saving money, I'd love to hear about it. Would love to hear your plan on how you're going to accomplish it. And the reason I put New Year's goals is because honestly, I don't believe in New Year's resolutions. But I do believe in New Year's goals. And I think a goal, as we talked about on Weaver Wednesday, is much more attainable and something that is going to motivate you to accomplish. So goals are something that you're going to write down. You're going to put a time frame in place on when you want to accomplish it. And you're going to go out, you're going to break it down weekly, monthly, annually, and you're going to accomplish that bad boy. So that's why I'm talking New Year's goals tonight. I talked to a ton of customers, ton of friends, a lot of people just in general about, hey, what is one goal you've set forth for yourself this year? And probably 75% of people will say, well, Michael, I'd like to save more money. That's awesome. How are you going to accomplish that? And that's what I want to talk about tonight is how are you going to accomplish either saving more money, making more money. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. And if any of you have questions at all, please ask away. Please comment, interact. I love, that's why I do these live feeds. I love interacting with you all. So thank you for everyone that's joined. I've had a ton join while I was talking. My beautiful wife, Courtney, Mr. Sisk, Garrett Chumley, Sammy, how are you? Mr. Mounts, Heather Hay, thank you guys all for joining. Mother-in-law, Miss Brinkley, hello. I appreciate you all watching more than you know. Find my hell, that's my therapy. See, that's a great goal, Jared. I think anything that helps. That's kind of like me with working out. Like, that's my therapy. So I agree. Like, I think that's important for you to fit into your calendar and get that done. That's awesome. So let's go ahead and start talking about saving money. So I think the first thing when talking about saving money is talking about first of all, you need to know where your money's at and how much money you can save. So it amazes me, and it's just something that I don't think a lot of people were taught in school. A lot of people don't write checks anymore, but you need to know how to do a budget. And that's something I help a ton of customers and clients out with, is creating a budget. And I think that's the first thing that you need to do before you can really start saving money, is you need to figure out where your money is going. So that's the first thing I want to talk about tonight, is a budget. So I know I've talked about this in the past. However, repetition enhances learning. All right, that's an old saying of mine. I love it. So we're going to go ahead and cover a budget again tonight. So the first thing with a budget is you need to come up with fixed expenses, you need to come up with variable expenses, and then you need to come up with your total net income. Okay, so I drew here on a piece of paper for you. If you want to pause the live feed after this, whatever it says. The easiest way to come up with this is get a piece of paper, write fixed expenses. So fixed expenses are things like your mortgage, your car payment, utilities, your food, insurance. So car insurance, health insurance, life insurance. And yes, I put life insurance as a fixed expense. Some people would say that's a variable, but I definitely think that life insurance is a fixed expense, because if something happens to you, you need that life insurance in place so your spouse can continue to receive your income. So that is definitely a fixed expense in my book. Phone bill, gas bill. So all fixed expenses that you have, you need to write them down, and then you need to write how much you spend. So if a mortgage is $1,000 a month, you need to write $1,000 next to that mortgage. If you have a car payment that's $500 a month, you need to write $500 next to the car payment. Insurance, what's your monthly insurance bill? Phone, gas, etc., etc. So that's the first part of creating a budget, is creating your fixed expenses category. Next, you have your variable expenses category. So variable expenses are things that are expenses, but maybe that can be canceled out, for example. So let's say your cable. Like, I look at cable as a variable expense. Maybe extracurricular activities, such as maybe golf, going out to the bar, Starbucks. Those are all variable expenses. I put alcohol and tobacco down. Those are definitely variable expenses. So then you're going to go through your list of variable expenses. So the easiest way to look at your expenses is to get like a debit card or credit card statement for like 3 months time frame, and look at what expenses you've spent in the last 3 months. So on variable, you're going to want to look at your average expenses. So average those expenses out over the last 3 months and jot them down. Fixed, your fixed expenses should be the same every single month. Those are the things that have to be paid to keep your lights on. Make sure that you have a roof over your head. Make sure you have running water. Make sure you can drive. Things of that nature. Does that all make sense, hopefully? Shoot me a like if that makes sense. Any likes? Any likes? Any likes? Hey, there we go. We got some likes. Good. So, after you have your fixed expenses and your variable expenses, then you're going to look at your total net income, okay? So your total net. So net is money after gross, after they take your taxes out. So what you're going to do then is you're going to take your total income minus your total expenses, and that's how much money you have left over at the end of the month. So a lot of times when I do this with folks, there is a negative number there. Negative numbers are bad. Negative numbers mean that you're spending more money than you're bringing in. So, and if that's the case, that's a very high percentage of what happens with a lot of folks. So what you have to do is then you have to cut back on your variable expenses, okay? So variable expenses. So one easy variable expense is cable. $200 a month. Let's save that $200 a month. Maybe only go out on date nights, maybe every other Saturday instead of every Saturday. Maybe cut back on golf to 1 time a month instead of 3 times a month. Maybe instead of going to Starbucks 5 days a week, maybe make your own coffee and go to Starbucks on like one day, like every Friday is like a celebration because it's the end of the week. Those are ways that you can basically lower your variable expenses for you to have more money at the end of the month. Okay, so as far as fixed expenses, you can always like for insurance, you can make sure your rates are as good as they are. Mortgage and car payment, make sure that you have great interest rates. You can always refi to lower payments to help you there as well. Does all of that make sense? Does all of that make sense? Shoot me a like if that all made sense what I just said. Does anyone have any questions about what I just was talking about from a budgeting standpoint? All right, we got some likes. That means it's making sense. That's good. That's good. And I saw some more people join. Mrs. Nikki, how are you? Kendra, Brittany Page. Hopefully all of you are having a wonderful weekend. I don't know how many of you have to work tomorrow, but this guy will be in at work, so hopefully some of you get the day off, though. That days off are always good. All right, so again, we have fixed expenses, we have variable expenses, we have total net income, then you have your income minus your total expenses. That equals your money. So that's the first thing you need to do when figuring out, hey, how much can I save every single month? Then, so let's say you have $500 extra at the end of the month. Do you want to save the full $500? And if you do, then what are we going to do? Are we going to invest some of that money into your retirement savings? Are you going to put it into an emergency fund? Are you going to save it for maybe a new car? What are you saving for? Like, I think with any goal, you always have to have a why behind the goal to keep you motivated. So you need to have a why behind the goal as to why you're saving. So if you want to save $200 a month, why are you saving $200 a month, or why is that your goal, if that makes sense? So now that we know a budget, I would tell you, now you know how much money you can save. If the money is not there, there's one of two things that you can do. Either one, you're going to have to lower your expenses, which means you're going to have to take some variables away. Two, if you can't or won't do that, you're going to have to sacrifice a little bit more of your time and probably get a second job to bring in more money. I think it's always easier to make money sometimes than it is to free up money, honestly. It's sometimes it's hard, extremely hard to free up money. So what you may have to do is you maybe have to figure out a way to earn additional income or revenue, if that makes sense. And that's a conversation I have with people all the time as well. Is what's something, could you work a part-time job? You have experience in the service industry. Could you go and be a waiter or waitress on a Friday or Saturday night and make a couple hundred extra bucks a week? Just little things like that. Because if you want to save more money, like I said, you either take away from your variable expenses or you have to somehow generate more income. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? Likes if it makes sense. Crying faces if, Michael, you don't know what you're talking about. Hopefully I don't get any crying faces. All right, we got a like. That's good. Any questions so far? Any questions about anything? Again, I'm doing saving money because I know a lot of people want to save money. They always are looking for ways to save more money. People are also always looking for ways to create a budget. Some people don't even know how to create a budget, and that's why I wanted to reiterate this again. Fixed expenses, variable expenses, total net income. Okay? So, starting with your budget is the first thing you need to do. Secondly, just like we talked about on Weaver Wednesday, okay, so I want to save $200 a month. I have an extra $500 coming into the household a month. What can I do with that $200? The easiest way to save money, I think, when you have extra money coming in so you don't spend it, is to get a separate account. One, I call it like my hidden account. It's an account that automatically pulls from my checking account every month on the day I get paid, and it's like a ghost account. It's an account I don't even account for. It's just out there. I know the money's there if I need it, and that's kind of like my emergency fund account. So that's what I would encourage all of you to do: is treat your savings in your retirement or investment planning savings like a car payment or like a house payment. Know that, hey, I want to save. I want to put $100 in my emergency fund every month, and I want to put $100 in my 401k or Roth IRA every single month. Treat that like a payment. So you automatically know, hey, it's going to come out of my account every single month. It's gone. It's not my money. It's put away for either emergencies, or I'm paying myself for the future. That's another thing I wanted to talk about tonight, was putting in that account that you're not going to touch. Get it out of your liquid checking account that you have your debit card and you swipe all the time. Because just like most people, if you have money in the account, you're more than likely going to spend it. Yeah, sure, you don't necessarily need that $200 watch, but man, I went to Nose Jewelry the other day and that watch looked pretty good. Oh, look, the extra money's in my account, I can go ahead and buy it. Whereas if you have the account already set up and it's automatically pulling from your checking account, boom, that money's gone. It's like it was never there. So that's another tip I would give you for saving, is set it up and treat it like a payment. Just put it on an account that automatically pulls into another account, like it disappears, it's gone, but you know that account's there. That's another easy way to save. Makes sense. Hopefully. Any questions? All right, that was a like. That means it made kind of sense. That's good. Is there any questions at all? Does anyone have a question? It doesn't even have to be about saving. You can ask me a question about anything. All right. So we covered a budget and how to do a budget, which was fixed expenses, variable expenses, total net income, and then you take your total net income minus your total expenses. That's a budget. Then we just talked about creating a ghost account that your money automatically goes in and you treat it like a payment. So you want to save $100 a month in your in like an emergency fund. Set up a savings account or money market account and have it automatically pull from your checking account the day after you get paid. Okay, then you want to save $100 away. You want to put $100 away a month into an investment that's going to pay your future self in retirement. Okay, set that retirement up to where it automatically pulls out of your checking account the day after you get paid every month. But first, you got to make sure the money's going to be there. That's why you have to do the budget. So you have to work backwards, if that makes sense. It's nice to say, hey, I'm going to save $500 a month, but where's the $500 coming from? So that's why you have to do a budget to make sure that the money's even going to be there. Hopefully that makes sense. How many people have off tomorrow? Shoot me a like if you have off work tomorrow. Hopefully everyone had a good New Year's too. We didn't get very many likes, so that might mean a lot of people are working tomorrow. And then lastly, I wanted to talk about making more money, which I covered a little bit. So making more money, either asking for a pay raise at your current job if you think you deserve it, or getting a second or third job. I know that's not always fun. However, if you sacrifice 6 months, a year, 2 years to save up money for something that you want, whether it's a new car, a new house, pay yourself, just save up for an emergency fund, it will be worth it. Like, I can promise you, because you will have accomplished that goal. Then you can quit that second job and go back to just working your first, and you have that money that you put away, or that new car that you bought, or those credit cards you paid off, or whatever your goal for saving may be. But sometimes figuring out ways to make additional income or revenue is sometimes easier than giving up your variable or even fixed expenses. So that was something I definitely wanted to touch base on. Always, if you need money, more money, always be looking for opportunities to make more money. There's plenty of opportunities out there. If it snows, hey, can I shovel your driveway for $20? Or hey, could you do a small landscaping business in the summer? Could you work part-time on the weekends at a I don't know, a Gap or a restaurant? Just multiple. There's tons of opportunity out there to make money. So if you need to make more money, figure it out. Because I do think that sometimes it is easier to earn additional income or revenue than it is to kind of give up. Most people aren't going to like giving up their cable. Like, we just got cable back. We went without cable for 5 years. The first 6 months was kind of tough, I'll be honest. After that, you kind of forget about it. Like, cable's cable. Like, if you can give it up, $200 a month, boom, there's savings. I even said that a car payment could be variable. I put it as a fixed category, but and I know you need a reliable means of transportation, but do you really need that $60,000 truck that's $800 a month, or could you do with a $30,000 truck that's just as reliable and it cuts your payment down $400 a month? It's stuff like that that can really benefit people. I mean, an extra $400 a month is a lot of money. So and I know that's a sacrifice and that's not always fun, and I totally get that. However, if you have to sacrifice for a year or 2 years to accomplish your goals, I think that you will be much more satisfied with that sacrifice you did. Like, if you sacrifice and accomplish your goal, I can promise you'll be like, man, that was totally worth it. Great job. And then you can buy a new truck or a new car, a bigger house or land, or go on a trip or whatever it may be. So, but I've been rambling on now for like 20 minutes. So, any questions, any comments, anything at all? So tonight we talked saving money. We talked budgeting. We talked creating a ghost account and putting the funds in a ghost account to where you just don't have access to it every day and not looking at it every day. And then we talked about increasing your income or revenue. And like I said, maybe you don't get a second or third job. Maybe if you think you deserve a raise, go talk to your boss about a potential raise. Like, that's always a great idea as well. All right. Questions, comments? If not, I'm going to be wrapping this bad boy up. Don't forget, please subscribe to my Facebook, so anytime I come on or me and my beautiful wife Courtney come on, you guys are notified. Shoot me a like if you think we deserve a like, a share. Please share my posts. I appreciate all of you that share it. Shoot me a heart if you think I deserve a heart. Other than that, I am about to get off and watch some Sunday night football. Like I said in the beginning, Chiefs. Joyce, that's pretty good. Okay. So tonight I was just drinking water, so it was clear. Typically, if it's a color, it's because it's it's going to be colored if it's like a Wednesday night, and that's because it's a pre-workout before I go to the gym. So nothing too crazy. I wish it was a little something better than pre-workout, but it's just my pre-workout drink before I go to the gym. All right. Any other questions, comments? Thank you all again for watching tonight. I appreciate it. Hope all of you had a wonderful New Year's Eve. Hopefully you all have a fabulous 2017. Hopefully you make it great. Make it even better than 2016. 2016 was an awesome year. I think every year's awesome. Like, every year I get older, every year seems to get better. So I hope that's the way it continues. But I'm a firm believer that everyone's in charge of their own life. They're in charge of their future and how the year goes. So there's always going to be roadblocks. There's always going to be things that happen, whether it's a family member that passes away, or whether it's an obstacle at work, or whether it's your car breaking down. But don't let those little obstacles get in the way of ruining your year. Don't let 10 seconds of a bad day ruin the day. So thank you all again. Make 2017 a great year. Go out, smash your goals. If you guys ever need anything from me, please let me know. Instant message me, contact me, comment on Facebook. I mean, even after this live feed, if you have any questions, comments about what I talked about tonight, please comment. This stays on my Facebook wall. I'm always notified, and I promise you I will comment back. So with that being said, thank you all again. Have a fabulous 2017. Don't forget to check us out Wednesday night, 7 o'clock for Weaver Wednesday. And have a fabulous Sunday evening and first week of the year. See you guys later.